Hey, what is going on, everybody? You guys are having a wonderful week. I know I have been having an interesting week. We'll say that much for it. I don't know how wonderful it is. Let me just double check, make sure we have an actual live stream here. Let's see here. We're probably live. What the heck? Either I'm talking to myself or I'm talking to somebody. Oh, there I am. Okay, we have confirmation of launch for this week. So, again, thank you everybody for joining me for the hobby live stream for this week. We're going to continue building the Primaris Outrider. Let's see, we got our desk cam right here, of course. And last week, we went ahead and we did some of the initial wiring for the bases. Of course, we did one of them on the stream, and then I went ahead and did the other one afterwards. There it is, with the Raven Wing coin right in the center to give the camera a little something to focus in on. Perfect. Okay, let's get our timer going, and we're going to dive right into this build. So we'll slide on down, and we will launch that. Timer is, and we're going to do a timer for 1 hour. And let's see. Of course, get that. And perfect. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and dive right into the. I tell you what, folks, I myself, though I don't normally do this for the hobby live stream, this week deserves a little something extra. So I think we're gonna go with the old. Here, we'll put it on the cam here. Or the old Kaio whiskey this evening as we get into the build. Let's see here. We'll just pull a couple fingers there. Okay. Hey, what's going on, Sean? How you doing, brother? Here's to you, my friend. Delicious. Kaio whiskey. Okay, so today, I'm pretty sure that I'm actually going to be able to finish building these bikes. So far, we've went in last week, if you remember, and I'll turn on those lights. And we went ahead and we basically ran the wires up through the base. We wrapped them around this fiber optic piece that we're using for the fusion engine. We just put a big blob of hot melt glue gun in that area. You can see it all glowing on the camera. Of course, we ran this one light up through the gas tank that is going to be the display light. And we have the two lights coming up front here that are going to light the guns themselves. So go ahead and turn those off. Second bike to the side. Now for this one, I didn't do it on camera. I actually just did it a few minutes ago, right before we started. I just didn't want to kind of deal with the mess on camera. But I went ahead and secured the wires in the bottom. So nothing special here. There we go. Get that camera to focus in. You can do it, camera. I believe in you. There it is. Okay, so all I did was take some of the hot melt glue gun, and I basically just splopped a big old line of it, and with my finger and a toothpick, kind of pushed the wires in. The twisted together ends, all I did was put a drop of glue and make sure that they were separated from each other. Remember, I never even wrapped them with tape or anything. I figured that the glue ultimately is going to create the insulating layer for us. And then still running through. Now, I didn't fully pot or secure all the wires because once we attach the bike to the base, I'm going to have to push some of these wires back through, and basically that's when we're going to secure the rest of them. It'll look something like that. We're done. Come on, camera. You can do it. There we go. Normally it's giving me no hassles today. Seems to be a little slow. That's okay. Boom. Looking good. Awesome. Oh, hey, Sean, I picked up a new GoPro, by the way, man. So it can we can actually live stream directly from the GoPro next time we play a game at your house. Should be fun. So give that a try. Maybe this weekend or something. I definitely am ready to roll some more dice. Okay, so let's go ahead and secure this mess. So we have, let's see, this looks like it goes on this side. Now, I just look at these little pips that line up, and that's how I know which one goes to which bike. So that one goes there. So we'll put this two halves of the bike together. Looks pretty good. Again, I hit those lights. Let that fiber optic going in there. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to run the fiber optic in through these barrels. We're going to fill this area with a whole bunch of glue. Kind of see the ends already flashing. And then we're going to put these cowlings on. And let's just make sure we have the right cowlings for this particular bike. And let's see. That's got to be that other bike over there. So that would mean this is this bike here. Again, the nice thing is the size of the pips are different and the placing of the pips are different. So it's not like you could actually get these in the wrong place. So let's see how well this is going to fit together for me. It looks like it's going to fight us a little on top of that cowling. Let's see what's keeping it from actually closing. Oh, yeah. So we got a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. But basically, it looks like it's not fully going together on the bottom. And is that what's keeping us apart on the top? I don't know. I think this model is just not the best fit. I think GW could have done a little better on the clearance. Who am I to criticize, right? Not a model designer, but model builder. Oh, wait. Some kind of snap in there. Yeah, so ultimately, I think that we're going to have a little bit of a fit issue on the top here as that comes in. That one goes to the other side. Let's see how this other bike fits together. It's fitting together, just not hassle. So again, we'll take this bike, fit those two halves together. Excellent. Hey, did you see that thing about the new whatever tactical terrain book or whatever that's supposed to be coming out? I don't know. Interesting. Obviously, I've not seen it yet, so I don't want to either praise or poo-poo it. I saw the same preview, I think, that everybody did yesterday? I don't know. I saw it today, personally. And, I don't know, it's cool. I'm one, see, I don't mind extra rules, and you guys know I run events and stuff like that. And so, see, look, this one fits a little better. So we're actually going to build this side, and then I'll off camera, I'll figure out what the fit issue is on the other one. So with this one is going to be pretty sure, let's see what, yeah. Okay, so this is the body that goes with this one. You can tell because there's like a gap in the back of the belt, and then here is the back equipment, and then this guy, let's see, must be this other body. Is that right? Oh, better yet. Oh, of course, obvious. So here's the easy way to figure it out. I forgot. We recovered this last time. So, oh yeah. Well, that's when the new the new codex comes out. So we'll see how that goes, right? Anyways, right here, you can see there's the thing on the leg for the chain sword, and this guy has the chain sword. So obviously those two don't go together. So we're gonna toss that over there, and that means this comes to this guy, and it's that piece and that piece. Okay, so this should be the rest of our build pieces. So basically we got those going on. I'm gonna pull these cowlings off, and I think I'm ready to glue the two halves together, amazingly enough. So I'm going to grab some tweezers here and make sure our lights are nice and free. Oh, and I see that little burr right there. We'll just go ahead and chop that out. I'm using the heavy slicing X-Acto knife. Get in there. Nice. A little bit of a burr still. Okay, got that free. So anyways, we got this. Wires are free here. Got that wire up there. And the two halves look like they fit together pretty well. So I think without further ado, we're going to glue that. We're going to do the glue. Okay. Yeah, I see rules changes in the previews and stuff like that, and I try not to get too excited or bummed by what I see because you don't see the whole picture. So once the new book is out, I will dive right in and we'll see what we get. I tell you, still a little bummed that I have all these wonderful books that I have yet to try, but whatever. Moving on. Okay, and I'm using the old classic Testors orange glue here, and just going in with the normal Testors precision tip, and just kind of dabbing some glue along the edge, not running a thick old bead, just kind of putting it. And in fact, I'm trying to keep the glue more to the inner edge of any surface that gets glue on it. Go through there. Now, I'm almost always going to build with mono glue. I do not use crazy glue except cyano, unless I really plan to disassemble something. Here we have the two halves of the wheel. I have a very different wheel assembly. Try to get the end so there's no gap. And you can always go back and clean some stuff up. I'm going to bring this little bridge forward a little bit. So I think that should be it. Oh, and there's this back piece there and there. Okay, so that should be it. Let's go ahead and glue those halves together. Got that free, got those free. Yeah, not bad. Okay, so let me first get the stopper back in my glue. There it is. And can grab some little clamp pieces just for a minute. So I think the scissors, or the tweezer clamps, whatever you want to call them, those will hold the middle nicely. And then I've got a little blue clamp to go on the end here. And we'll grab one over here as well. Boom. Okay. So we just let that glue set for just a minute. Doesn't need to go too long for what we're doing. In fact, I don't want it to fully harden. Hate to say it, but there's a lot of times when things go a little bit wrong and you have to kind of rip them apart in there. So there we are. We've got that gluing for just a minute. And then while I do that, I'm going to see if I can figure out what's going on with this other piece for a second. Now, my concern was that the cowling would not actually close across the top. So I'm going to look to see if, in this area here, did I maybe stress the plastic? So I'm just going to grab my knife, and in case, we're going to kind of break that edge down a little. Make sure there's nothing going on. And probably should do this side a little as well. And as soon as I put my knife to it, I could feel that wall push inward. So it might have been as simple as that, because it looks like on the top here, we're getting a pretty good seam. So I'm not sure why as soon as I put the two halves of the bike in place, put those in. Oh, whoops. Oh, man, see? There we go. Got to get these ones for the other bike over here. The thing, they can only go together one way. But really can only go together. There we go. Okay, got that. And there. Oh, yeah, look, that made, it's still a little bit not as tight. It's going together pretty good. Actually, when you look, that's a pretty good seam. I think it was just that little piece of plastic underneath that was pushing out. So I just kind of, by pushing that in, maybe it was kind of the angle we had cut it before. It seems to work now. And look at, there's one more of those burrs on the inside of the gun. Let me cut that out. And I think this is about ready to go too. So let's go ahead and glue these two halves together. And then we're basically going to switch clamps from that bike over to this bike. and then we'll start working on that one again. So one of the nice things about working on a couple models at once, these kinds of projects, is just keeping an eye on things. You know, back and forth through the clamps, always something to do. Okay, so again, just going through and applying some glue, trying to keep it to the inner edge of these walls, these edges, these halves, these clamshells, whatever you want to call them. Using the Tester's orange glue and the precision gluing tips, again by Testers. I just buy these things almost in bulk off Amazon. Go through them. So cheap glue, Tester's glue, works great. That dental tool in the end, and let's do this. Okay, so we're gonna slop that in. Ooh, I was putting glue on that edge. Yikes! I do it on the other one too. Ah, hate when I do that. Hate when you put that glue in a place that's doesn't have a mating part, right? Okay, so that went together really well. In fact, almost doesn't need the clamps, but we are going to clamp it up anyway. So again, take that tweezer clamp and the parallel clamp right on the front, and the other parallel clamp. Come on. Clamped on the tweezers. There we go. Okay, so that's off the back. And now we've got this. So let's go ahead and secure ourselves to the base. I'm going to push the wiring kind of through that hole there. You can see that. They're just taking the wiring, and I got this loop on this side where I took up some slack. So that's the only challenge, to get back through there. Okay, nice. Seems to have worked out. And then I'm just going to, basically it's going to get glued in place about like that. Now, the mistake I made on the last bike was I didn't put it at quite enough of an angle, and the front was difficult to get to. I'm not going to glue it quite yet. We're taking some of that slack out there. It's making it a little easier to work with. In fact, if I now go to the bottom and take that little bundle of wires, I'm not firmly twisting it. It's going to go this way. I'm just going to push it out of the way. And that's going to allow this to sit pretty easily for me. So there we are. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, so now we're going to go in. Oops. Is that caught in the seam? Uh-oh. There's that. Oh, and this is coming apart a little on me. So now this side definitely needed the clamp a lot more. So I think I'm going to take one of the clamps from the other one, and we're just going to kind of lock this one in just a little while longer. Right there. I think it's the spot. Yeah. This one definitely wants a little more pressure to keep it closed. So let's take both of those clamps. I think I'm immediately just going to start working on the other one. It actually seemed to go together better than this one. So, oh no! Ah! Nothing. So anyways, let's go ahead and get those on there. Plastic clamps. Okay. Come on. Wow, it's just not sticking. These are nice little parallel clamps. Got them at a railroad supply store in Chicago randomly. Railroad modeling supply store. They usually work pretty good for me. I don't know why it's giving me this sudden difficulty, but they say where there's a will, there's a way. So let's see if, there it is. So this is my hobby vise. This is technically a vise used for jewelry, watch, like holding a watch when you work on it is what this vise is. So if you go look at jewelry repair kit or watch maker's tools, watch repair tools. You can find some stuff like this. I'm just going to use that to apply a little bit firmer pressure across the top there. Still not super happy with the clamping. I just kind of need to really get the clamping like on this center tank area, right? Sometimes models are easy, sometimes they're hard. So I'm going to try and get the clamp device back here. There we go. Now that's starting to bite on it. Hey, it's that, Donna. Okay, and then let's get the front. Now, there we go. Nice. That finally seems to be doing it. Come on. Come on. You can do it. You can do it, little model. Poof. Okay. Franken model there. Set that aside. Glue cure a bit. See how this one's doing. Like I said, this one really went together a lot better. A lot more cleanly. Not too worried about gaps at this point. We'll fill stuff with paint and such later. So right now, we're going to blop some glue in there. But we've got to get our fiber optics. So you remember last week, we created these little fiber optics. And there's one. And there's two. And you remember we filed one end of them so that it would catch the light a little bit better. So clean that end up, sure. There we go. Get that to focus in. There, very nice. You can see nice, smooth end. The little bit of dust that's on there, you just clean it off with your finger. It really doesn't matter at all. And then we're going to put those through here. There's one. And there's two. Come on. There it goes. And you notice I got just plenty sticking out the front. And I'm going to take, this might be a little tricky to do, but I think I can pull this off without making too much of a mess. I'm going to get the lights out of the way as best I can. I hate to glue them accidentally at this stage. Oof, probably I'll just take a toothpick. Seems like the best choice. I'll just kind of put that across here. So I got to hold this like that. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to take those fiber optics, and what I need to do is I'm going to take just the tiniest bit of the thin cyano so it wicks. We're just going to put a little teeny drop there. Come on. Come on. There we go. And a little drop there. And we're going to quickly pull. See, wasn't even quick enough. And it's locked in place forever. Yeah. I think that'll have to do then. I actually didn't want it quite so far back. But man, it's tricky to work with this stuff sometimes. There, make sure we don't glue our light in place quite yet. But the light pretty much is where I want it, which is on the end of the fiber optic here and on the end of the fiber optic here. Now, I could use a little of the cyano to hold those in place, but I haven't, I haven't put cyano on these new little mini LEDs yet, so I'm just not sure how they're going to react if I, if I put glue on them. I guess we could experiment. Why not, right? Early on, we might as well figure these things out. We got the light going on. You can see it's transmitting beautifully in there. creating a nice little light box. I'm going to take my thin cyano, and I just got a little card. It's my glue card. So it's a piece of slick paper that came out of some packaging. This one actually was from the GoPro. It's the quick start guide. And I'm going to see if I can just put a dab glue to kind of hold things in places. Might actually switch to the thicker cyano, as this is not wicking well for me. So I'm going to put away the thin cyano. That's what that was, the extreme power thin stuff. And I'm just going to go to the extreme power thick. I'm super not brand loyal to any particular type of glue. These are just what they happen to have at my... Okay, so let's try that again. So now again, I'm going to grab the toothpick. Oh, see, now we've got a nice little bead of the glue on there. And let's try to... Oh, yeah, there we go. And... Come on. That catch? Can't really tell. Try another little dab over there just in case. Just a... Oh, that has to have got it. You guys can probably see better in the video than I can see with my own eyes. Come on, you can do this, camera. We believe in you. There it is. There's the focus. So that seems to have worked. So I got a dab of cyano holding the nano LED on the back of each of the little fiber optics. And now we're going to break out the mighty glue gun. And just a reminder from last week, there are two types of glue, opaque and clear. Clear tends to transmit better. Opaque creates more diffuse lenses. In this case, I'm using the opaque because ultimately I have a couple lenses that we're creating on the side of the gun. So let's go ahead and just squeeze that in there. And so we're basically just going to fill a bunch of glue into there and see how it goes. It's kind of a tricky thing because I'm going to... Okay, so let me explain exactly what's about to happen, because once it starts happening, it's going to happen quick. We're going to fill a bunch of glue into there. In fact, I could probably get away with getting this half on there. That's a little bit of a tough call. We'll see how that goes. So basically, we're going to have to get the glue inside of that chamber, and then we're going to close this cowling around it, and there's going to be a big gluey mess, and so it's going to be a big fight, but we'll get it. And we're going to also have to glue that piece with the orange glue at the same time. So we're using some hot melt glue and some other glue, and because of the way this model goes together, at the same time, we're going to have to put this body in place. So I don't have to hassle with it. I'm going to cut the pip off the bottom of the body. Go. And we'll cut that piece off as well. And we'll cut that piece out. So there we go. We got nice, clean pieces. So it should be fun. But once we start going, it all has to happen at once. So there's it's one of these things. Either works out really cool, or it doesn't. So start by pumping some glue in here. Oh yeah, look at that, nice. Get that glue all over. Oops, got a little on top, don't want that. Drop my extra glue gun on the ground. Don't want that. Okay, time to burn my fingers. Ouch, hot melt glue gun. We gotta rub it where it doesn't belong. Get out of the way. And a little bit on top there. Okay, I think that's not too bad. Let's go ahead and get this first half in. just going to put a little glue down here. And we can see where it contacts right there. And then we've got where those pips come in. And we're going to want it to lock in real good across the bottom. But that bottom edge leaves a gap. There's a little flank spot. A little bit on the deck. And then the challenging part. Oops, the excess glue. Let's wipe that off the tip. Oops. Still flowing. Kind of, you get a little excess pressure on these aluminum glue tubes and they just flow for a minute. You just got to kind of wait till it stops flowing, and it will. Don't worry about wasting glue. It's cheap. Cheaper than your model. Don't ruin your model for wanting to save glue. Okay, so there we are. Put that half in. Like it went in place. Too bad. And I'm just going to fill that bottom area a little bit. Nice. The glue's kind of settling in there. Should be flowing down to this little pip. In fact, I'm going to help it get to that opening by just kind of applying some pressure in there. Oh, hasn't quite gone yet. So it looks like we need to pump some more glue in. So there we go. Nice big old glop. Really starting to fill that chamber up. But mostly we're trying to get the glue. And if you look, see if we can get it to show. If I turn the light off for a sec, can you see in there? See, the glue is just starting to fill that little chamber in there. I think if I give a little more pressure on the glue here, get it to flow out. It doesn't matter if it comes out the hole too much, but if it doesn't go enough, we won't get the right effect. So it's just important that we get a goodly amount in there. And as the glue cools, right, it's getting more and more viscous, and we got a little more control, kind of pushing it down. Get it to flow out there. There, nice. Really forming a nice bead in there. That's going to make a nice lens. Oh, that's almost perfect. You see that? Little bead. A little rounded lens in there. I'm just going to leave that in place for a sec. Now I'm going to obviously remove the stick. I want that to take glue, but I don't want to apply any more pressure on that until it's just firmed up a bit. Now, ways to cool it. I have theorized about this, but just blowing on it. Your airbrush, you can blow some air out of your airbrush. Seems to work pretty good. You want to do a quick cool. Use my fingernails to, all this stuff isn't quite hardened, to scrape and keep this edge clean. Bring the other half in. Now the other half really gets tricky. We're going to cheat a little bit. Yeah, so you see we're starting to get some glue in there, so it's not even close to closing. So not quite ready to put that half on. We're going to have to clean this up, this edge up, I think. Just kind of come through here. Can you see that? Nice and close. Bring the light in a bit, and actually the lower light might be easier to see. Yeah, I think that medium light's about right. Okay. Again, open to feedback. What looks better, what doesn't. You guys want to see? There's a pretty good chance this is going to be the last episode of the Primaris lighted bike. So definitely into healing what's going on. Hey, what's up, Jack? How you doing, man? Alex, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Get together pretty soon. Another one of those super game fest down there at the barn. That'd be awesome. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. I'm just cleaning this edge up so that as I bring the other half in, We don't end up with a big old gap across there. So kind of break that back. Nice. Very nice. Doesn't matter how ugly the inside is. It all transmits light anyways. Right now, it's about the consistency of like a Jello gelatin. So it's pretty easy to clean up. Look at that. There's a raised edge right there. That might have been what was holding it up too. Get that off of there. Really feel the heat in the plastic. And looks like right there's a little more. Okay. Let's see how this other half fits in. I like glue strings all over me. Not bad. If you look, we can look at the fit of the model, and it looks like we've got a pretty good fit across the face there. So like, see this gap right here? That's telling me that the bottom half's going together, but the top still has a decent gap to it. I gotta push pretty hard to close that. So that's gotta be some in here, and unfortunately, yeah, if you look, we actually ended up camera angle. See that? Right in here. Come on, camera, you can focus. I believe in you, camera. Oh, look at that. There it is. We had it. Well, anyways, right in here, you can at least see, even if it's not super crystal clear. And I have, well, why should I apologize? I didn't make the fucking camera. Stupid camera. Anyways, right in there, there's a little bit of a gap. And so that's where it's not going to close out completely from this side either. So I think we're about the best we're going to get with that, as far as that goes. Okay, so without further ado, then, I'm going to go ahead and try to create the lens on this other side. And this is a little more direct, so it's actually going to be much easier to screw it up. Kind of get that in there. Hair more. Oh, look at that. Nice. That came out really nice. Can you see that? Again, we see we just got a little bit of a lens that we've created in there. Remember, it's just like a glow effect, so it doesn't have to be too much. And it's clear right now, but this glue will actually harden into a translucent color, so we'll be okay there. And I think this front half does have to be pretty clean, so that's going to be a little bit of a problem right here. We're just going to clean that out. Came out nice. That came out nice. And we'll see if we can cut that off. Like this weird sort of hardening gel state that the glue's in. It goes pretty quick. There we are. Here, Kubo the dog barking back there, keeping us safe. We saw my awesome lighted Primaris on the internet going for a raid. There we go. Okay. Yeah, right? Hot melt glue, man. I'm telling you, it is the magic for this kind of work. And yeah, there we go. God, look at that gap, though. Oh, I'm super not happy with the gap. Super not happy with that gap. So let's see what's causing it. Kind of coming in from this side still. And I definitely see where we're hitting right here. So I'm going to try and clean that back a little bit more. And I wonder if maybe a little relief on this side. What do you think? If we take our emery board and just file down that surface a little. In fact, heck with the emery board. Let's go straight to the file. Let's remove some material. Okay, see how that worked. You don't do like huge amounts of material. Not bad. Remember, I can gap fill the top, and that's what I think we're going to end up doing. So that's not too bad. Let's check how the light transmission is going. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so we're getting that little bit on top, which I'm not super happy with. It's probably going to end up glowing through there. Not much I can do, but I'll show you a trick to fix that. See, it's definitely coming out the end of the fiber optics. We're getting that side effect and that side effect as well. So I think that's what we're going to go with. Okay, so the rest of this thing, I wonder if it's a little bit of interference right there too. I know, I know, I know. Just build it, John. Just build it. But. It's gonna create a little more relief. Like, I don't mind working the gap that's going to be on top because it's going to be there no matter what. But I don't want it to be this massive gap. So now, ideally, I connect the hot melt glue on this side with the hot melt glue on the other side. I'm just going to come in here, and what you can see is I have kind of this little like pocket O glue or pocket 4 glue at this point. Ooh, that might be a little much. Please settle in. It is settling, but that is way too much. I'm gonna, while it's still hot, I'm gonna come in here with this spatula and scoop a little out. Put that over on the piece of paper. Okay, and let's try that again. We need just a hair more glue in there. Not a ridiculous amount. I think that'll do. And then we're going to get our testers precision gluing tip prepped up over here. I'm going to set the bike down while I clean this up. Clean that up real quick. Rag, don't have one handy. Now have a rag handy. Okay, so let's put a little bit of glue again on this thing. So I know I'm not going to be able to fill that top gap, so I'm not even going to bother. Put a little bit of glue on the inside to hold it across the base there, and a little bit on this inside peg, and then this piece. So that should be enough. Okay. Not too bad. And of course, oops, almost forgot to put the guy in the middle of the legs. So let's get a little glue on him. They put a little innie on him? A little vajayjay? I think they did. What's up with that? You poor Marine, you. Maybe they're making a political statement. Okay, here we go. And boom! Right in. A little bit of excess glue right there. So I'm going to remove that with the toothpick. There we go. Nice. Okay. Work. I think we're doing pretty good. Nice. Okay, so let's see, the back should still be lit as well. And got this coming through the bottom, so snag that. Go. Come on. Okay. So we're getting really close now. Really close. 15 minutes left today. Ooh, okay. So I think we're going to have just one more session after this. Man, it's got us pretty close. That bike in there. Kind of need to let some stuff dry at this minute. So I think we're going to kill the lights on Comey number 1 here. Transfer some of these blue clamps. Firm grip. We just go straight to the vise. Might as well, huh? Okay, so here we go. It's in. it is. Very nice. Okay. Just don't think we're going to get a useful clamp on the top, but maybe it'll help. Okay, so we're going to set that off to the side and see how this one is doing. Okay, well that was extra fun. And so once again, we need to grab our fiber optics, which, I know we made 4 of them, and I only found 3 earlier. So there's one, and I think I'm just going to have to clip another one. And, as I look at the fiber optic, it, of course, reminds me of this fine Kio whiskey that I'm enjoying this evening. And put that fiber optic real quick. Again, not real. I mean, I guess they are technically real fiber optics. They're just, acrylic, not glass, woven glass fibers, right? Actual fiber optics. These need a quick filing on the end, so we'll just line them up and and almost got it. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. So let's go ahead and again, we're going to install the fiber optics over here on the second bike. Slide that through. Slide that through. Sorry, get the flat end I filed going through. Really? Like 3 times in a row, flip it the wrong way, right? Okay, there we are. Oh, man. Ugh. So, if you look, the fiber optic's a little bent, and the holes are not the straightest drilled. So I'm gonna rotate those so that they look good coming out. It doesn't matter too much if the back end is a little bent. I think that's not too bad. So we'll go with that. This one I left a little more wire, so I'm more easily able to hold the LEDs out of the way. And once again, I'm going to take that thin cyano and just put the tiniest, or maybe a big old massive glop on there, right? Well, the intent was the tiniest drop. There we go. There's a reason I only hour a hobby a night. Hobby an hour a night. That's all I can literally handle. See, I hear I'm 45 minutes in. I'm like, focused concentration. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Nicely secured. A little bit of a mess on top, which I'm not super happy about. I'll just wipe off the excess. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, that might actually help the whole thing if I just refile that a little and that at this stage. That is going to make those cowls fit on. Do not file the wires. Okay, I think that's. Let's see how the 2 cowls fit on this SAF before we go any further. Side. And yeah, fine. Okay, looks good. So the next challenge is actually getting, again, the light to kind of sit the end of the LED so I can glue it in place. Now, I guess I'm needlessly fighting. You see me pulling the one across, and it wants to stick on the left side anyway, so I might as well just leave it there. Let's go ahead and get those chips bent and rotated. So this one I left more wire, which made it easier right up until this spot where more wire is making it more difficult. So let's just keep working at it. We've got, get these wires just kind of bent so that as they hang in space, they just kind of by coincidence end up right where I want them. Not coincidence, I guess, but by in their relaxed state. So that's not bad. Test our lights. Again, we have good fiber optic transmission. Mind if that was a little... Oops. See, what's that about leaving well enough alone? Okay, we'll put that one back. Really hard to actually look at these when they're flashing, so let's turn that back off. There we go. This one to sit at that end too. The light transmission through this whole thing is super forgiving because of the hot melt glue that gets involved at the end. Arrgh. Like, get it. And come on. Come on. Ah, there we go. Come on, baby. Hold together. Okay, so again, I'm taking now the Extreme Power Thick Cyano and putting a new fresh dollop over on my glue card. I'm grabbing, running out of clean toothpicks here is what you actually see. I should have grabbed a few more. Okay. And just get a little up over here. Come on. Blue. Okay, and we got it. So those bits are glued in place. Not perfect, but they don't need to be. And we'll start pumping some of that hot melt glue into there. Okay, not filling it up at first, and then we're going to glue the first half in. Actually, that worked pretty well with just pre-making the lens. Let's see if we can get away with that on this. Oh, you know what? But then there was the whole cleanup issue, wasn't there? Nah, no, we're going to do it just like we did before. I think there's a few ways to approach this. That's the whole thing. It's like, what's the actual method you want to use? And so in this case, again, we're going to get a little glue down here, in the middle, across the bottom, attach that pip on the inside of the leg, and a little bit on the wheel peg. That's about it. Again, I don't think we can get a good gap on the top, so I'm not going to bother. The edge. And let's... Ooh, did you see that? Ooh, just stuck my finger in the hot melt glue. So you haven't gotten any blood so far, but at least today you're getting some burns, right? Little something, little payback for all those hot peppers, right? Okay, so we got that first half in. Not bad, bad. And again, we just got to let that glue settle in a bit, and then we're going to start pumping the glue in. Again, trying to form that lens down on the bottom. And now I'll take the spatula. That spatula's glued in place. We got a fresh one. And look at that. You see the glue coming out the bottom on me? We'll clean all that up before we get to the second side. There's one of the nice things is hot melt glue definitely does clean up whenever, however. It can be heated up again, remelted, all that stuff. So it's pretty forgiving to work with, even though it's messy. Come on. A little more to form that lens, I think. So we're just gonna put some more glue in there. And again, try that. Direct pressure. It's coming. It's coming. Oops. There we go. You see that? Not quite there. Just needs a little. There's like an air bubble, I think, in the middle that's kind of giving me some trouble. What a mess. Ugh, this is just a mess at this point. But there it is. There's the lens. Okay, got it. Okay, so now we're just going to let this one sit for a minute, and it is like literally just a mess. I'm going to be cleaning up string glue for days. Okay, there we go. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, well, I made pretty good progress tonight. I had in my mind, I had dreamed that we would actually finish things off. So, thank you very much, Sean. And I thought maybe would finish it off tonight, but I see it's going to be like one more session after this to get it all done. But boy, we're getting close there, right? And so we definitely got those going on, looking good. Now remember, we're gonna paint that to create the rest of the effect on those barrels, and we're gonna clip them a lot shorter. But you can see that glow effect for the lens on the side came out really nice, really nice. We do have this across the top, which it's a lot of light gap through there. Now, what I did on the previous bike is I actually you put a piece of aluminum foil in there and chose to skip that on this build. But that aluminum foil was hell to get inside of there. But it did prevent the light from coming up like this. So there is that. But you see, I'm just going to go ahead and take the good old-fashioned Tamiya extra thin with the sprue bits in it, right? So this is just basically sprue and glue. Yeah. There we go. Get a nice little bit of it. Oh my gosh. Crap. Danger, Will Robinson. Holy shit. Did you guys see that? Stupid lid dripped a big old drizzle right on the bike. Oof. Look at that. You see how quickly it just melted that whole section? Okay, I'm not going to rub on it anymore there. We're going to have to let that re-cure. And then we'll do a little emery board work to clean that up. Oh, man, that was a mess. So, again, you just got to watch out for this stuff. It's just kind of gnarly, but right there. Take a little dab and run that right along the top. And as you see, it is, in fact, the same material that the model's made out of. Like I said, it's just bits of sprue actually cut up and put into the glue. Fill that gap. A little bit of a glow coming through there, but it got most of it. It definitely closed that gap off. Okay, so we'll let that harden on top, and then we'll file it clean. We already have to do a little cleanup over there. So that's not too bad. Oh, man, though, that big dollop. Ugh, I see that here. I'm going to bring it up real close, see if you can see the instant damage that happened. See that where it fell? Like right in this area right here. Oh, there we go. Look at that. You see how it just like instantly started to attack and melt that surface. But then we've got this nice seam in the middle. And once that hardens, we will, come on, we'll file it down and clean it up. It'll come out looking pretty good in there. Okay, so that is it for this week. Turn on the backlights as well. So next week, of course, we're going to install, probably will be the last session. We'll do the display and the rest of the lighting and fiber optics for the display. Of course, we already have the Fusion engine complete, so that's looking good down there with a nice Fusion glow for us. And tonight, we went ahead and installed the guns, and those are looking pretty good. At some point, we're also going to trim down the fiber optics on the front there, and over here on this second one, we're just see how that lens came out nice. And probably off camera, I'll go ahead and finish the work on this one, get it caught up, so that next week we're going to start with some fresh material. But you see the what's going on inside of there. That little air bubble. It's giving me trouble. See that the light catches the air bubble. You can use that as a positive effect, or it can be a detractor. And with that, everybody, that is my hour of hobby for this week. Thank you very much for joining me this week for all the fun. For those of my pepper friends, I just got a whole bunch of fresh hot peppers, so I'm going to be sending some more of those out to some folks. A lot of local people, friends that have wanted them are going to get some this time. Other than that, everybody, let me switch back to my beautiful face cam so I can say goodbye to you. Hey, what's up? What's up? We survived that hour of hobby. I still got about half of my Kaio whiskey left. Let me just finish that off. Delicious. And with that, peace out. Good night, my friends. You have a wonderful week. Don't forget, we got In Your Phase coming out this Friday, both video and podcast. Look for over on YouTube. Jeremy just did a stats analysis, 40K stats, and we've been working on a stats front end. So look for some really strong analysis to help you build your list, figure out what units you want to do, what missions, other things you want to take. And other than that, of course, always catch our Sunday live stream. With that, this is John Fearhelm for In Your Phase Media. Good night, everybody. We'll